best heroes together. Honestly, they kind of are. I love them so.
Oh, man.
We're not
3
fighting.
viewers already.
Has it started?
Yes, it started. We're live.
Do I need to reload it? Or... Oh, there
No, but I think we're good.
Cool.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, all three of you?
All 3 of you, show yourselves.
All 2 of you now. Man, the moment I talked, we lost a viewer. That's not a good look.
Welcome to the first episode of the Magical Mystery Podcast. Until I can find something better to call it.
Right.
We got Juggalo Got Game here. What's up?
Hello, Juggalo Got Game.
Can you hear us okay? I hope everybody can hear us okay. Anyway.
I hope there's no delay.
That
are you able to hear me immediately here? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's so weird looking at, because the stuff that comes in on the screen comes in like 10 seconds afterwards, so I need to not look at you, I guess.
He says that we sound fine.
Cool.
So, in this first inaugural episode of this different show that I wanted to try out, I've got an OG YouTuber of sorts with me here, Asalieri.
Hello.
Introduce yourself to the fine folks.
Yeah, I'm Asalieri. Previously known as Asalieri, and then I got my channel banned, and then I became Asalieri2, and I guess that's it. Now I have a number 2 stuck to my name. But yeah, I'm a OG YouTuber, I guess. Not much to say about me. I guess I'm quote unquote known for my reviewing a reviewer series and my Kickstarter Nightmare series, both of which are no longer available on my channel.
And the plethora of videos he's done with Razorfist, collaborations he's done with Razorfist that are no longer on his channel either.
Mine on his channel and his on my channel. Yeah, we most recently seen in his rant on Angry Joe. Yeah. where I portrayed my Angry Joe character.
Pissed Jose.
Pissed Jose, correct. So yeah.
And now you do soccer videos?
Well, I've always done soccer videos. I just like to concentrate more on my passions rather than what I used to do, which was, do commentary on other folks, It's definitely not a road you want to go down on YouTube. And this is just advice, for anybody listening, Don't get into the commentary community. You'll end up, bitter and toxic. And as much as controversy creates views, and that is absolutely true, you'll be the better for it if you avoid that road. Trust me, it's not a fun road.
Which I've wanted to shy away from that as of late.
Yeah,
of course.
I
I tried it, I've been there, done that, and it's not really for me.
Besides, video games are much more fun to talk about. Well, much more fun to play, but you know what I mean.
And that's what we've decided to do for this first episode. Just shoot the shit, hang out, talk about video games that we've been playing. Working through our backlogs during the quarantine and everything.
My Steam backlog never gets depleted. Let me pull it up real quick. I have
I got mine too.
389 games on Steam.
Oh Jesus, that's more than me. I'm looking up mine as well, so that we can keep track.
I literally just pulled it up, and I was gonna. Well, it would take forever to go in alphabetical order over the ones I've played and the ones I haven't, but I've played quite a chunk of them, I'd say. I'd like to think so, at least.
You're over 300 games compared to my 35 or so.
35 and you have a backlog? How is that even possible?
I buy more games than I play, and the Steam sales are so good that I just keep buying more.
I mean, same here, but when did you start collecting Steam games? Like 2 months ago?
About the beginning of 2018. That's when I got my first gaming PC.
I've been collecting Steam games since I opened my Steam account back in 2010, so that would probably account for it. Yeah.
I got the card for your Ranting and Raven.
Ranting and Raven.
But yeah, I'm relatively new to PC gaming to an extent. So
I am
that's
not
why I only
PC.
have 35
Contrary
games.
to what you might think, though, I am not PC Master Race.
I don't fit the bill of PC Master Race either, even though I love the PC platform.
Right. For me, PC gaming was born out of necessity. That is, the moment I had kids who were prone at young ages to destroying consoles, I decided I needed to put the consoles away and have something that I knew they couldn't break. Now they're a little older and they know how to treat systems with a little more care. But back when my girls were 4 and 5 respectively, we lost many a console in the in the babies playing my video games wars.
The only things I owned were handhelds and playing on Steam.
Yep. 'Twas a dark time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, for years and years I've always wanted to be on PC, but never could afford it, being a broke teenager for a long time. And then I get to college and then I'm able to afford a decent PC.
Right. Well, shit. Maybe we should start with your list then, since you have less games on it. What's the? Do you have them in alphabetical order?
I do have them in alphabetical order.
Yeah, because that's how they appear to me. So I don't know if you can even. Yeah, I think you can change the filter on it, but yeah, go ahead.
So are we just gonna go through each of our games in alphabetical order, or just ones that stick out to us?
Yeah, maybe the ones that stick out would be, especially with my list. With my list, I have to like scroll down and see. But yeah, I already see a good 50 titles that I haven't even played yet on my backlog here.
Yeah, I do too. There's many. Let's see.
Whatever pops out at you first.
The first game on the list is Alien Isolation. Have you ever played it?
Nope, have not, and it's not on my list. So
it's an incredible game that came out a couple years ago, like the Alien film series dream game, pretty much.
So it is based on the Alien franchise?
Yeah, it's kind of like a in between the first movie and the second movie, and it stars Ripley's daughter.
Oh. And what is it? Is it like a role-playing game or?
No, it's a first-person stealth game, and it's beautiful. Like, the graphics are beautiful. Like, you feel like you're in one of the movies. And the majority of the game takes place on an abandoned space station that's been overrun by the alien. And you're trying to figure out what's been going on in this place, and you're sneaking around. You can hide in lockers, you can hide under tables and just avoid the alien. And it's really freaky too, to play around Halloween.
Sweetie, she's throwing her toys again here. Cheaty, can you stop that, please? Here, sweetie, I'll give these to you. Here, Anna, give those to Mama.
No. What am I supposed to do with them?
Prevent her from throwing them at me, perhaps?
Alright, go put them in the garage then.
Juggalo says, I like PC, but I'm still a console peasant.
Well, nobody who plays video games is a peasant. We're all enriched for it.
We're all gamers here. There's no peasants or elite or anything.
That's why I think it's silly. It's silly to talk about. Whoa. It's silly to talk about, consoles being better than PC or PC better than consoles. It's a pointless war in my mind. Nobody's better because they get to play X game over Y game.
And there's many people that bitch and moan about the PC master race being oh so great, but really we just have a different platform, and that's all.
Yeah. I mean
120 FPS is great, but that's not all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean the last time the console wars were any fun was back when Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis were at war, and they made those fun commercials all mocking each other. Those were the days.
And then there was the PS3 360 console war several years ago.
But they didn't get to make fun of each other on TV or anything like that.
I wish. That would be hilarious if they did it.
Back in the day, these companies had balls. Like Sega went out there and said basically, in no uncertain terms, they were basically saying "fuck you, Nintendo," and Nintendo was saying it right back to them.
We're the cool kids. We got Sonic the Hedgehog. We got Alex Kidd. We got Altered Beast.
Yeah, I don't think
Nintendo doesn't have that.
These days, you can't do those ads. You can't do what Genesis does, what Nintendo don't anymore. I don't think that's possible in today's, I don't think that's possible. You'll never see commercials like that ever again.
Nope. I didn't get a PlayStation 3 until 10 years ago. And it had already been out for a while. Mm-hmm. And it's the slim model, and it still works to this day, and I still play it and have fun with it because I can't really afford a PlayStation 4 right now.
Well, sometimes you have to game on a budget.
And for the longest time, I was still on the PlayStation 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had PS1, PS2, and PS3, and that's kind of where I stopped. As far as next-gen stuff, I picked gaming, console gaming back up with the Switch. I have a Switch. So I missed out on the Wii U / PS4 / Xbox One. That's an era that I did not enjoy in gaming.
I was a Wii owner, and I didn't really like being a Wii owner, so I didn't go to the Wii U and then the Switch next. I was always a PlayStation guy. I had an N64 at the tail end of its life, and that was
so your first console was the PlayStation 1 then?
My first console was the Nintendo 64. And I got it around 2002, 2003. Oh
yeah, you're right. Right at the end there.
The GameCube had already been out for a year or so at this point.
So you didn't enjoy the PS1 necessarily. No. You started with the PS2.
I didn't have a PS1 personally, but my uncle did, and when me and my younger brother would go over to his house, we would play on the PS1, and he had also gotten the PS2.
Yeah. Well, I was going to play the PS1 startup screen, and I'm like, if you know that sound, then you grew up with a PS1. That.
And the PS2 startup.
Yeah. That ring.
At like 6 or 7 years old, I still had the N64, but I didn't have a PS2 yet, and I didn't really need one because my uncle had one. There was a kid that I knew across the street who had one. There was another friend on that same street that had a GameCube. There was a rich friend that I had that had an Xbox across town, so I didn't really need to own any of the three consoles at that point
Well,
in that
I predate you
era.
by like, what, 10, 15 years? So, yeah, my rich friend had a Neo Geo, just to give you an idea.
Those things.
I had to go to my rich friend's house to go play Neo Geo on console.
The ones with the cartridges that are the size of a paperback
that
book.
Are the size of consoles.
that are
it was
the
like
size of the
inserting
console itself.
It was like inserting a console into another console. That's how big the fucking things were.
Because these cartridges contain arcade boards, pretty much.
Yeah, but that's exactly what made it fun, because you were literally playing. It was for the first time ever, kids got to play arcade games at home, and it was identical to the ones you got to play in the arcade. It was basically MAME, MAME before MAME.
Which MAME is why I have no desire to own one or track down those giant cartridges. Plus, they're expensive as hell.
MAME made Neo Geo obsolete, basically, but nowadays owning a Neo Geo is basically more collector's item than anything else, you know?
I don't really collect games much anymore. I used to back in high school.
See, if you could feature me on video, I could start showing off my collection, like the geek I am. But
I still need to figure that out for the next episode.
I have to leave that for next time.
Yeah, and I would love to get other people on here too. Like if you could, fingers crossed, get Razor Fist on here, that'd be so awesome.
Oh. I don't know if I have the pull for that.
That's okay.
I don't know if Razor Fist has the time for that either.
Yeah.
You know? Especially now with COVID the way it is, you know.
Right.
Tough.
But yeah, I used to collect games, like older games, back in high school, but then over time just kind of got sick of being burned on price and the scalpers and everything. And when I moved back in December, I sold most of my old video games, consoles, everything. And now the only console that I have left is my PlayStation 3.
Do you miss your old collection?
Yeah. I had a fat PS2. I had a Dreamcast with a couple games. I still had the N64. Funny story about that N64. It wasn't my original N64 from childhood. That one got given away by my mom when we got the PS2 and the Wii.
Damn. Didn't even get value out of it. Just gave it away.
I have multiple stories about the N64. The original N64 that I had. I had only 3 games with it, and the 3 games that I had with it were Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, Gex Enter the Gecko, and, get ready to laugh, Superman 64.
What? Not Super Mario?
Superman 64, yes.
Wait, you didn't have Mario 64, but you had...
No, this was like 2002, and... For whatever reason, the kid who gave it to me, the neighbor kid who gave it to me, he didn't give me the rest of his N64 games with it. He just gave me those 3.
I can't believe anybody actually kept their copy of Superman 64. Most kids put that in there and went, "What the fuck is this?" and probably tossed it in the trash can somewhere.
I think you know which 2 games I played more.
Well... Yeah, I can tell which one you never played.
Like, I maybe played Superman once or twice. Even as a 7-year-old kid, I thought that game was crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, anybody with a brain, I mean, you actually, maybe you didn't even need a brain to realize that it was crap. I mean, it's so bad.
It's terrible.
Hey, kids, do you want to play a Superman with fucking super strength and flight abilities and all? Or do you want to, wiggle around trying to awkwardly make your way through rings?
Do you want to play a Superman game where you fly through rings the entire time and pick up cardboard cars? Doesn't that sound great?
That don't look like cars.
They look like they were made out of cardboard and glue.
It's funny because most kids were like, fuck yeah, I get to play a Superman. And because we're all violent little shits, we're all thinking that we're going to punch holes through people with our super strength. Nope. We're going to pick up cars and fly through rings. The epitome of fun for any kid. I mean, Superman for the NES was better.
And there was that Superman game, I forget what it's called. It was based off the Superman animated series. It was on PS2. I forget what it was called.
I mean, at the very least, the Superman on NES, while bad, at least you got to do some super things. Like, you know, it was like a weaker version of River City Ransom.
I'd rather play the Superman Atari game.
Right? But yeah, Superman 64 has its legendary place in time. Not that I think they want that honor, but
well,
for the long time, it was like the one title you expected every quote-unquote angry reviewer to review. If you didn't review Superman 64, you weren't graduated as a angry reviewer online yet.
And it took several years for the AVGN to get around to reviewing it.
Yeah. It's funny that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even the Irate Gamer got to that one before he did.
Yeah. I still couldn't get around that elephant-shaped controller.
Oh, but for the N64?
Yeah, the N64 controller, I hate it.
I don't know, man. The Xbox controller was literally a bear.
A chunk. A big slab.
Yeah. I mean, that was, for my hands, the most painful. I mean, I'd rather have a NES, that square-ass NES controller that pokes at your freaking wrists. You know?
But there is a controller that I hate more than the N64 controller, and that's the Dreamcast controller. It's huge.
That semi oval thing and the grip was all weird on it, and
it only has one analog stick.
Yeah. The only cool thing about it was the memory cards. I mean, hands down, Dreamcast had the coolest looking memory cards. You know?
Yeah.
I liked how when you connected it, the title of the game would appear on the memory card,
and each game would have different animations that would play on it based on what game it was. Like if you popped in Resident Evil Code Veronica, it would have your health meter on it. Right.
I remember playing Jet Grind Radio on it, and it would have the little logo on it that kept popping up. I mean, that memory card was tight. And I liked how some games actually enabled you to play a little mini game on the memory card while it loaded too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was unique. The Dreamcast, sadly, it died way too early for me. It was ahead of its time.
And the blueprints of the Dreamcast were carried over to the Xbox. The Xbox was pretty much like the Dreamcast 2.0.
Yeah. And it wasn't nearly as memorable.
If they had just gone with the DVD format, it could have competed with the PS2. I would go as far to say.
My fondest memories of the Xbox would be KOTOR, KOTOR 2, and a little game called Kung Fu Chaos that I absolutely loved.
I haven't heard of that. I might have to... Oh, I can't pick it up because I don't have an Xbox anymore. I used to have an original Xbox back in high school.
But yeah, Kung Fu Chaos was fun. It was like if you took Super Smash Brothers and like Mario Party, crunched it all up together and made it a side scroller as well, a side scrolling beat 'em up.
I'm
Like
gonna have to.
it was so cool. It was like a mixture of so many ideas, Kung Fu Chaos, and the characters
Kung
were these
Fu
cartoon.
Chaos. I'm looking it up here.
Yeah, and it was like the characters were
Okay.
these cartoony parodies of literally every single 70s martial arts movie like trope. You had like the ninja, you had like the Jackie Chan guy, you had the Bruce Lee wannabe. And then if you beat the game, you could unlock even the director himself, who had a cool name. His name was Shao Ting.
I'm looking at it on an online site that I use to look up games, and it's currently at $23 and out of stock.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the a look at. It's fun as hell, and in multiplayer, it's got that Mario Party feel to it. The mini games are fun. The side-scrolling, beat 'em up part of it is fun. It's just fun.
And you mentioned KOTOR 1 and 2. I envied people with original Xboxes and PC that had those games.
I loved KOTOR 1 and 2, which is funny because, as you know, because we've spoken about it, I'm not all that knowledgeable on Star Wars, All I know is the first trilogy is the only thing that exists. They never made anything past the first trilogy, so yeah. No movies of Star Wars exist at all after the first trilogy.
I grew up with the prequels, so I have nostalgia for them.
Okay. As long as you don't have nostalgia for when Disney decided to stick their dick in things.
Oh no, that's a whole other podcast entirely.
I don't think it's possible to be nostalgic for that trash, but what do I?
And I've met people who that was their introduction to Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, which I feel so sorry for them.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
Jade Empire was awesome too, Patrick.
We have to.
Jade Empire was basically Star Wars KOTOR with a Chinese kind of skin placed over it, because it was literally the same game.
Which I do have both the KOTOR games from Steam.
I have them on Steam as well,
and I may be one of the only YouTubers that have gotten it to stream correctly on their channel.
Yeah, for
to
some
do
odd
Let's
reason,
Plays.
it does seem to have. Some people seem to have trouble with that one. Must be the software.
I remember a while ago, Razorfist had so much trouble with the second game trying to get it to stream, and he decided to play something else, some other Star Wars game. I think it was one of the Jedi Knight games.
But yeah, man, KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, those are some fond memories I have of both of those games. Really good. But yeah, I definitely recommend Kung Fu Chaos. I mean, just look up videos of it on YouTube. You'll see just how silly and fun it was. There's never been a game like it, and I wish they would make something like that again. Something creative, funny, with weird little cartoony characters. Like
this generation, there needs to be more colorful and funny platformers.
Oh, I know.
There isn't enough of that.
The Last of Us 2. We need less of that shit.
We need less. We need shooty bang bang games and less zombie games. More platformers.
Yeah. I think I'm up to my ears in zombie games. I think that's been played out. But yeah, so let me look at my Steam here and see what I can. Well, right off the bat, the most played game on my profile, which I believe is it is Renowned Explorer Strategic Exploration. I would definitely recommend that to people, but it's more for geeks like me. If you like,
Renowned Explorers International Society. Which one?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Renowned Explorers International Society. I have 686 hours on it. It's my most played game.
Wow.
Followed by Stardew Valley, which that ought to pretty much give you a good idea of what kind of a gamer I am.
I have every other Star Wars game that has been released on PC.
Third on my list, I have Town of Salem, which is basically, if you ever played Mafia.
Oh yeah.
It's basically Mafia, only Mafia as a yeah, Mafia as a video game, basically. And they have a pretty healthy player base, so it's easy to get 15 players all to play a big game of Mafia with you. So it's a wonderful party game.
Patrick Mason says, last zombie game I played was Dying Light. It was pretty good.
You know, I stopped playing zombie games a long time ago, so I couldn't even tell you. Probably Resident Evil would be the last zombie game I played. Be the easy answer to give. I don't tend to like zombie games.
I have to be in the right mood.
Yeah. That was 2015. Yeah, play The Last of Us 2.
I'm not gonna bother with Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I played it, hated it.
I've heard that the gameplay and stealth mechanics are great, but the story is a train wreck.
The stealth mechanics, let me tell you, look at Mudahar's video and you tell me the freaking game has stealth mechanics.
Okay, I will.
You can
literally. Like
you can literally crawl on your elbows up to an enemy and they won't freaking notice you. It's like they don't want to look down. Like the AI is that stupid that you can literally like shoulder crawl up to them, get up, and strangle them.
That's weird. YouTube unsubbed me from Mudahar.
Oh. Resub him.
Yeah. See, the thing with Mudahar is whenever he streams, he doesn't archive his streams, and I want him to, because some of his streams have made me just fall on the floor laughing. He's so funny. He's
a good guy. But yeah, definitely watch some of his playthroughs of Last of Us 2. I think they're the definitive, tells you exactly what's wrong with the game.
I liked the original Last of Us.
Yeah, the original one was basically an game, but just it suffers from the same problem as the second one, in which you don't really have control over the story. You know, I like games that give you branching arcs. Like if you make selection A or selection B, your story's radically different. I like that kind of thing, but I hate the whole forced. Hey, the game's gonna take you on this linear path, and you gotta like it, bitch. I don't like that.
I enjoyed the way that they handled the story in the original Last of Us. I liked that it progressively changes seasons.
Right.
Like part of the game takes place in fall, winter, summer.
Yeah.
I liked that.
But like the story remains the same, but thankfully the first one has a good story. Now The second one has the same linearity, only the story stinks. Like it absolutely sucks.
And it has nothing to do with the main character from the last game getting beaten to death with a golf club by a tranny.
Yeah, and that's the excuse that the people that like the game like to throw around, that, oh, you're just angry because they killed your favorite guy. No, we're angry because you got this complete milquetoast, unlikable criminal that you got to play as, and then you have to play as another unlikable, hideous criminal, and then at the end you don't even get the satisfaction of killing the hideous. I mean, you're talking about a lady that murdered hundreds and punched a pregnant lady and threw her down a flight of steps and threatened her with a knife. And when she said, "Oh wait, she's pregnant, don't kill her," she said, "Good." Like that's the kind of protagonist you want, guys. Like that's your idea of a.
And Troy Baker is one of the voice actors. He defended the hell out of this game on Instagram.
Yeah, I bet. Well, if you work on it, you're obligated to defend it, I think.
And Troy Baker, I think, is a good guy. I just think he feels obligated to defend this game because he worked on it and he's under contract with it.
Right, but I mean, it's not going to change my opinion on the game. It's a terrible game.
I think the viewers at home could see this. Speaking of Troy Baker, I have a copy of BioShock Infinite signed by him.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Oh.
What con did you meet him at?
Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City a couple years ago. Because that's where I used to live. This was it was like a year or so after he did Uncharted 4, so everybody was going up to meet him for Uncharted 4 and get their game signed. And I go up to meet him, and I show him my PS3 copy of BioShock Infinite, and he looks down at it, and he's like, "You were able to use the PlayStation Move with this?" And at the time, I hadn't beaten the game yet, and I told him where I was at in the game, and he gave me tips on how to beat the rest of the game. Because cool. Troy Baker does play the games that he's in.
Oh, man. Who was he in Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2, I forget. That's how memorable that game is.
I'll have to look it up.
Last of Us 2, Troy Baker. He played Joel.
Oh.
So,
wait,
yeah.
Yeah. That's weird that he defended it.
Yeah, that's right, Juggalo. Nolan North and Troy Baker have a YouTube channel together where they just hang out and play games.
See, that's cool. I like it when voice actors play the games that they're in. Now, if you want,
Nolan North was at that same convention, but I wasn't able to meet him because his line was pretty long.
Well, fun fact: there's a game on Steam that features my voice.
What? Really? Mm-hmm. What game?
It's called Dungeons: The Eye of Draconis.
Dungeons: I'm gonna have so many tabs open with games that you recommend to me.
Here, I'll write it in here if you can't find it. Dungeons
of Draconis.
There you go. Dungeons: The Eye of Draconis.
Eye of Draconis.
Yeah, I played almost virtually every voice in that game. Although I will warn you, it's like it's what you'd expect Golden Axe to be if only 3 guys made it, So you gotta put it in its correct context. It's not a game you're ever going to consider for Game of the Year, but
well, that's okay.
And you have to like Golden Axe type games because it's got that kind of gameplay.
Golden Axe, that's a arcade game, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay. Or a Sega game?
Yeah, Sega Genesis.
Okay. I've never really dabbled much with the Sega Genesis, to be honest with you.
Oh man, you're missing out.
As of now, I don't really collect older video games anymore. Anything older than PS2, I don't collect, just because I don't have the space for it anymore, or the money.
Let's see if the other game that I was in is on Steam. Yeah, it's no longer there. I was in another game called Kobold Quest, but that's no longer on Steam, so...
Man.
That was back in the day.
The next game on my list is Another World. which is a classic that I've heard about.
World.
Another World. It's kind of like Prince of Persia. Not the original Prince of Persia, not the other ones.
God, no, but there's an SNES version of Another World, but I forget what it's I forget what it was called on. It wasn't called Another World. This has another title, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think I read about that it was called
Out of This World. Yeah, see, there it is. About this game, also known as Out of This World. Yeah, that's the title that I know this game by. Out of This World.
We've got 7 viewers in the stream now.
Nice. Hello, 7 viewers. But yeah, Out of This World was fun.
That's the most viewers that I've had since a stream that I will not name the name of.
Oh. You do yourself a favor by, sticking to the stuff you're passionate about than the stuff you're angry about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope you learn from my mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how exhausting it would be just to be a devoted drama detractor channel?
Yeah. I have over 10 years of experience in that field. So, yeah.
Like, there's so many... There's like 1 or 2 channels devoted to just trashing on DSP. Dark Side Phil. And I don't know how they do it.
I'm sure even you have heard of the Irate Gamer.
Of course.
There's a whole... Here's sad. There is a whole forum online called the Irate Gamer Sucks blog that has existed since 2009. It is 2020. And for 11 years... They're still complaining about every single effing video this guy makes. Nothing more pathetic than that.
I've seen a bunch of the Irate Gamer's videos. He's really not that bad. For being an AVGN ripoff, he's not that bad.
And that's the unfortunate thing here, is that he's always going to be known as that.
Yeah.
And that's because people don't want to give the guy... They don't want to give the guy a break.
It's not 2009 anymore, people.
But, yeah. Well, shit.
I've even seen some of his ghost hunting show that he did for a laugh.
It's pretty cringe. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cringe, but...
Yeah, guys. If you ever need some good laughs, look up Haunted Investigators on YouTube. It's a ghost hunting show that Irate Gamer Chris Bors did like years ago, and he doesn't do it anymore.
Here I was hoping I was going to stick to gaming, but no. See, it always comes out, doesn't it? You don't want to turn into that.
And one of the things with his YouTube channel with doing game reviews, it was a vehicle for him to sell DVDs of that ghost hunting show.
Nice.
But
I want to meet someone who actually bought that DVD, like, not because they like him as a person, but because they actually like the thing. I want what they're smoking. I want what they're smoking, because that's got to be some good shit for you to like that show. Like, for you to like it not ironically.
And then a month or so ago, he does a collaboration with the AVGN. So they've made up.
Yeah, the funny thing is the Irate Gamer Sucks blog continues to write, diatribes about him. And in their recent one, they said, well, they're not really friends. If they were really friends, he'd delete his anti-AVGN stances. And like, give the guy a break. Y'all been at it for 11 years. But hey, that's the nature of online. Some people can never, get rid of their hate.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But as far as Irate Gamer, I mean, I don't watch his stuff. I thought his return to the Irate Gamer... It was kind of cringe, but whatever.
I haven't watched him either, and I'm not subbed to him or anything.
Well, have you watched the so-called, event of the century with AVGN?
No, but I've seen the trailer, the one where they feature dead old YouTube reviewers.
Yeah.
like frickin' Spoony, Jedite,
and others. But yeah, the AVGN appears for like the actual review is 24 minutes long, and AVGN only appears in the last 3 minutes of it. And out of those 3 minutes, he doesn't appear that much. He doesn't have that many lines. It's
what a freaking cop out.
Oh, it is. It is. He's got like a cameo of a cameo.
The crossover of the century.
It's not a crossover, because a crossover would, in my eyes, a crossover would mean they both review the damn game together. In his eyes, a crossover means I'm going to continue reviewing the game on my own, and I'm going to do a little sketch where we both play the same game and we're trying to get to the end first. And so the joke is at the very end of the review, turns out the AVGN beats it before he does. And that's it. That's the alleged crossover.
Man,
I've seen more crossovers, I don't even know what to compare it to, honestly. But
the AVGN featured Alpha Omega Sin in his videos more.
Right? Yeah. That's what. Yeah. So yeah, I just saved you 24 minutes of watching that thing.
Good. I wasn't really gonna watch it anyway because I don't.
No, I didn't think
I haven't watched the AVGN in so long, mainly because it was the AVGN was just getting old.
Yeah, and it's clear at this point that he's not interested in doing that character anymore. And I mean, I don't blame him. After 14 years of playing the same character, and yeah, it's gonna get old.
The man is almost in his 40s, too. He can't be doing this forever.
Oh, shit. I'm 42. I mean,
hey. Do what makes you happy on YouTube, but the AVGN character is past his expiration date.
Oh, he's been past his expiration date since at least 2010, in my opinion. Basically, when he stopped making funny reviews and started just relying more and more on setting up boxes and knocking himself over them, punching Bugs Bunny, things like that. And then it became more scatological, and then like, hey, haha, here's a list of 50 more poop jokes for you. Hope you like it. And it's funny because it all came around full circle. In the end, he went back to being a tame reviewer guy, and nowadays he doesn't do much of the scatological things. He just straight up reviews. So it's like, it's weird. Now he neither has fun nor does he do sketch. He just I think he's on autopilot from here on out.
Or Mike Matei is controlling him from behind the curtain, like a puppet style.
That wouldn't surprise me either, actually, at this point. But, yeah, it was clear, because both of these gentlemen used to get millions of views, both of them. And today, neither one of them can, AVGN can still crack 1 million every now and then with some help. But Boars, when he did the crossover of the century, I don't think he cracked even 50,000 views.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, I was about to do that.
Let's see. Irate Gamer. Chris Neo.
Yeah. The epic crossover.
207,000
views. Now, if you compare it to the rest of his older videos, all of which have 1 million to 3 million views apiece, that's quite a drop. Had he released this video in 2007, And they
Well,
managed to patch things up back then, or at least maybe 2008 or 2009, it would have been another million, 2 million hit video, even more. And today, nobody's interested. Like,
oh,
people.
oh no. He still kind of does the ghost hunting show. I'm noticing.
You're kidding.
He still does haunted investigators.
You're kidding me. Okay,
No, I'm
hang on.
serious. I'm
Now I
looking
gotta
at
click on this
some
channel.
of his video. This was like 3 years ago at this point, but he was
Oh,
still
but it's
doing.
3 years ago.
Oh
Could
yeah,
that really count as still doing it if his latest one is 3 years ago though?
I didn't see it. I didn't see the date on it. I thought he did it months ago.
Yeah, because I mean, 3 years ago would seem to, well, whatever. Oh wow, he put out a video called "Secrets of the Irate Gamer AVGN Collab." Well, here, I mean, just look at Irate Gamer's viewership in general.
It's
His
very
latest,
spotty.
yeah, it goes from 15K to 35K, 29K, 70. He has views as low as 4K in some of these. But
out
yeah,
of
4K to
163K subscribers.
yeah. Now, if you go to his year, like if you search by oldest, you know, humor me real quick and do date added sort by oldest, you'll see
Oldest.
1.1 million, 1.1 million,
Yeah.
876K, 848K, 1.4 million. You see the obvious drop in viewership there?
And these are his original reviews. There's Back to the Future NES here, Goonies 2, Mission
Yeah, all the ones
Impossible.
that people watched out of hatred because some of those are copies of things that AVGN said. Like his most notorious one is his TMNT one, where it's almost word for word copied.
Oh,
You know?
here's the infamous Super Mario Brothers 2 review where it is the perfect predecessor to the first Mario Brothers.
4.9 million.
Million.
So
August 7th, 2007.
imagine going from those numbers to what he puts out today, and you know, I don't know, draw your own conclusions. You know what I mean?
4.9 million views. August 7th, 2007. The ratings are disabled and the comments are turned off.
Well, I mean, he had to do that after a while because, I mean, I'm sure if you were around back then, you knew the kind of comments he got. So, I mean,
I didn't know about Irate Gamer until a while later after I had first joined YouTube. I didn't know about him until I started watching AVGN.
Oh, so yeah, you came to the fight late, I guess.
I didn't have a channel until around 2009, but I didn't post anything.
But yeah, I mean, if you see that change in viewership, I mean, it should be perfectly obvious that yeah, the interest has definitely waned. You know, there's no longer interest in his in this character and in this style of the way I see it. Angry reviewing, quote unquote, is a dead art form. You know, YouTube has given way from angry reviewing. It went to straight reviewing, and then it went to commentary community. Then the commentary shit kind of took a backseat to other things, vlogs and such.
Juggalo says, honestly, YouTube has stifled content creation and it's affected everyone, which is true.
Well, that there's a bit of truth there as well. I love the OG Xbox so much. One of my favorite consoles. So many games. I remember Kung Fu Chaos when it was out, but never played or owned it. Oh man, you're missing out, Patrick. I heavily recommend Kung Fu Chaos. I can't recommend that enough to anybody who says they love the Xbox.
I miss owning the OG Xbox.
That thing was a honking heavy piece of equipment too. I mean,
yeah,
because you got to realize
I've had
that
one
thing
before I moved and sold it. I had one all throughout high school.
Out of all the consoles you've ever owned, be honest, that was probably the heaviest one.
Oh, it was.
That thing was literally.
I thought I would need to use a forklift to put it in my entertainment center in my bedroom.
And most of that is because it was literally it was like taking a desktop computer with you everywhere you went.
Yeah.
That's the kind of
the fat PS2 was light in comparison.
Yeah, and that was kind of a heavy console as well. Honestly, the PS2, the PS3, the Xbox One, yeah, those were some heavy ass consoles to pick up. Which is funny because now we have sleeker, lighter things, you know?
Yeah.
And to anybody who has an Ouya, first of all, sorry. And second of all, that thing is the light.
I remember that thing. I never owned one because I thought it was stupid, but I remember people making fun of it.
I had several friends with Ouyas, so I got to see my fair share of them, and the things are tiny and easy to transport.
Like I remember you appearing on the 8-Bit podcast with Razor Fist, Yell Chaos, Alpha Megasin, all of them, and you ripped that thing a new one multiple times.
The Ouya? Oh yeah.
The Ouya, yeah.
I had no choice. That thing was potential wasted in every single way, shape, or form.
Patrick Mason says, wasn't the original PS3 so big and heavy because it essentially had a whole PS2 built into it?
Yeah,
they had to do that
PS2,
so that PS2 emulation could be possible.
Yep. There's a PS2 with the PS3 built around it. It's like stuffing a potato with an even bigger potato.
Which, with the next PlayStation console coming out, I wish they would do something like that where you could play games, physical discs from every single previous PlayStation console, if they could figure out how to do it.
By the time they get to the PS10, they'll figure out how to play PS1 games on it. Yes.
If my PC can do PS3 emulation, then so can the next PlayStation console.
Yeah. You'd think they'd get the hang of that by now, huh?
Yeah, because I've seen videos of people running the PS3 emulator, and that's the closest we'll ever get to a PC release of Red Dead Redemption 1.
Man. Red Dead Redemption.
I want the second game, but my laptop would melt if I tried to run it.
So your laptop probably has a hard time playing Fallout 4, huh?
I haven't tried it, but I think it would be okay.
My laptop has a hard time playing everything.
Well, your laptop's not a gaming laptop, kiddo. So, I mean, you can't even play Minecraft on yours.
The graphics card in my laptop is a couple years old at this point. I tripled the RAM of what it was originally at. I went from 8 gigs of RAM to 24 gigs, which made gaming slightly better. But most games newer than 2016, my laptop kind of has trouble with.
Yeah, Juggalo got games. Sony is just convinced that backwards capability is wanted by no one. Yeah, that would be why the RetroPies are so popular, right, guys? I mean, nobody wants a RetroPie, right?
That's why people are trying to figure out how to mod their old consoles to play burned games.
Exactly, because they don't want backwards compatibility, am I right? You'd think the big gaming companies would have figured this out by now. But nope. So I guess the RetroPie will always be a thing. So yeah.
What next?
Well, let's see. I have King of Fighters 98, 2002, 13, and 14 on Steam. Which, honestly, Steam still hasn't figured out how to do any Neo Geo fighting games correctly. I wish they would figure out, hey, this is a multiplayer game. Maybe we should have some good online multiplayer capabilities. They still have not figured out how to do that. It's amazing, and it's like it's been a waste of $40 for me.
And there's still games that are not that great. Excuse me, that are poorly optimized still.
Yeah, I mean, when Fightcade is still Fightcade's been around since the age of dirt, and when they have a better online capability than your high priced port, maybe it's time to figure out what you're doing wrong. Let's see. Shit, I have so many games over here. I don't even know which ones to toss your way. What is your favorite gaming genre, would you say?
I like let's see, based I play pretty much anything. I like third person action.
I play mostly strategy games and role playing games.
I like immersive first person experiences. I like third person action games. Let's see. I just play pretty much anything because PC has hundreds of classics that I never got to experience when they were new.
Well, if you want to go really old school, they started. I mean, they'd been for a while, but all the old Sierra text games are all now available on Steam. Ooh. So if you want to experience gaming from the good old Sierra gaming from the '80s without the use of freaking abandonware websites and DOSBox, then I highly recommend the collection, like the King's Quest collection, the Space Quest collection, the Police Quest collection, and the Quest for Glory collection. But that's just coming from me because I'm older than dirt, and I like those old ass text games.
Most of the games that I have in my library are older than 2010. Just because I like going back to classics.
You're right, Patrick. Good Old Games is a great platform for playing some old classics.
And the games that they have up there, they're better optimized than the version on Steam. And not only that, but when you buy them from Good Old Games, you keep them forever. Unlike Steam that has DRM on some of them.
Yeah. I'm not even going to argue that.
Years ago, I got and they have what was I gonna? Oh yeah, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which
all those old the old
LucasArts games.
Yeah, man, I miss those.
I miss LucasArts.
So LucasArts made some damn good, fine games back for the computer back in the early '90s, and so.
And LucasArts with their really good games, it wasn't just really good Star Wars games. They also had their own sort of creative little games on the PC, like did they make Grim Fandango?
Did LucasArts make Grim Fandango? I don't believe so. Let me look that up for you real quick. I don't want to give you the wrong Grim.
Yeah, they did. Or they might have published it.
They published it, but yeah, they're Double Fine. But yeah, LucasArts published it. I mean,
and then Disney gave them the axe.
No, you know which LucasArts game? I mean, probably nobody's ever heard of this one, but there's a fun old text-based game called Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders. That was such a funny game. Zach McCracken. Here, I'll type
Zach
it in.
McCracken. I'm gonna have so many different tabs open by the end of this.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it. 1988 LucasArts. Yeah. For Windows, Commodore 64, Atari ST, Amiga.
I mean, with all the stuff I've given you, you'll have a pretty good idea of what kind of, what kind of games I grew up with, you know.
Yeah.
And what kind of games I like. But that was such a funny ass. I mean, as far as text-based adventure things, it was surprisingly the shit you could do was surprisingly broad. You know, like you could melt a fork so that it'd end up being a ball of metal, for example. You know. But yeah,
This looks interesting.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
I'm looking at screenshots here from it in the Google window.
That was a fun game. And quite possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorite. No, because Indiana Jones would still have to take, because I love Indiana Jones.
I do too.
All three of the movies.
Yes.
All three of them.
The Indiana Jones trilogy.
Which, yep, I always wish they'd make more, but they never did. They absolutely never did.
And I'm fine that they never made any more movies beyond Last Crusade.
That's true. I mean, after a while, Harrison Ford got too old, so it's okay that they retired the character after Last Crusade, and we never saw any more after that.
Indeed.
Still, I always wonder what might have been. What might have been if they actually had made a fourth movie.
Shade X is here, and he says, thank goodness there wasn't an alien Indiana Jones movie. That would suck.
I mean, because see, that's why I loved, freaking, George Lucas, because he knew that Indiana Jones was always supposed to be about freaking, God-related artifacts, It was only Jesus, God, and...
God, and the supernatural, and various cults.
Aliens never happened in Indiana Jones, so, it's good to know that they never went there.
Yes.
Besides, who are they going to get to play a new Indy? What, Shia LaBeouf? Let's not joke ourselves here.
And are they going to get Grandma Karen Allen to show up again?
Yeah, it's absurd. You can never make a fourth movie.
I miss LucasArts. Disney just had to shit can them.
Yeah, Disney just had to swallow everything like a freaking, mouse-eared ooze,
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? M-I-C-K-Y. Fuck you!
Remember when the mouse was friendly?
I am still salty that Star Wars 1313 got canceled at E3 2013.
Oh, man.
Still salty that game got canceled because it was going to star Boba Fett.
Yeah, but hey, on the bright side, you get to watch The Mandalorian.
Yay! The Mandalorian with starring generic random Mandalorian guy.
And Baby Yoda
Baby Yoda and Gina Carano.
Yeah. It's safe to say, dude, Star Wars is being flushed slowly down the toilet.
Yep. I saw Star Wars be built up to an apex and then watched it crash down.
And you know what other series is going the same way? Star Trek.
Oh God, I think Star Trek is doing just as worse, if not worse, than Star Wars.
Mind you, I have not seen a single episode of this obvious freaking Rick and Morty wannabe bullshit that they made. I have not seen episode 1 of it, but
I'm not really much of a Star Trek fan. I mean, I like Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, but that's about it. I'm not really much of a Star Trek guy.
So like a normal human being, you like the good Star Trek. Go figure. You like the Star Trek back when it was still watchable.
Yeah.
Because Picard is a freaking mess.
Star Trek. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen one episode, but I can guarantee that Deep Space Nine or Voyager I'd rather watch.
How do you feel about the modern, hey, everything has to have a strong female character, and the female character has to have no flaws. She has to be perfect and beat everything with her superpowers. Like, yeah, how do you feel about that?
I say it's fine to have strong female characters, but don't make a big deal about it.
Yeah, but
to the point that it's annoying.
But honestly, what makes a character interesting is them growing from a flawed, character to a slightly less flawed character. A character is not interesting if they're just all powerful and they never fuck up. That's not what we want to see. I mean, we just talked about how much we liked Indiana Jones. He was a flawed guy, but he was so fun to watch.
Yeah, and he got injured. He had hardships. He had flaws. He was a scoundrel.
And he would often be the orchestrator of his own misery. So it's like it was fun to see him because he wasn't infallible. He'd fuck up and he'd get into problems that he'd have to get himself out of, and it was always fun to watch. But now you have freaking Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I didn't see that just because of how much of a toxic person that Brie Larson is in real life.
Right. Now you have Rey.
Rey.
She's fucking perfect. How did you like the whole? Hey, I have so much force that I can literally just manipulate this whole fucking X-wing here, Like, no problem.
You can she can bend time and space with the Force. In the most recent one. The last one.
Yet she couldn't save the life of fucking, what's his face? Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Ren.
Let's have them kiss in the end and be girlfriend and boyfriend. That was fun to watch, wasn't it?
I had a pretty good theater audience for that. If I wasn't
be honest and tell me you liked it.
I did not.
Okay, thank you.
Fuck the sequel trilogy.
Because if you like that, then I have to.
No, heavens no. That movie and The Last Jedi, Episode 8, that made me appreciate Attack of the Clones. Which, before those movies, Attack of the Clones was my least favorite Star Wars movie.
Right, it was the least until you realized, oh wait, it can get worse. How can we get it worse?
How could it get...
Let's have Luke Skywalker drink some fucking green milk.
Let's have him drink some weird alien seal titty milk that he freaking takes into a bottle and drinks it in front of a lady.
Yeah, and let's have him be a complete fucking, disillusioned, sore, bitter man that's a shadow of his former self. Oh, and let's have him have, like, absolutely no force compared to Rey. Yeah, let's do that. And let's really shit on the fucking original by having Rey at the end go, I'm a Skywalker.
I'm Rey. Rey Skywalker. No.
You take that back.
You did. If I wasn't with my family in the theater, I would have ripped this movie a new one, or I would have walked out of the theater 30 minutes in. Okay. I'm serious.
Okay, so you do have taste then.
Yeah, but I had to keep watching it. I couldn't look away. just I had to keep watching it just to see how bad it would get.
It's like when you're driving past a 20-car pileup on the freeway. You just can't go, yeah, I'm going to drive past that. You literally have to stop and watch because, I mean, who can't? How do you?
It's like watching a derailed train at 70 miles per hour. You just can't look away.
It's like watching a bum vomit in a freaking, in the back of a 7-Eleven. You just can't help but go, shit, that's gross.
Patrick Mason says, I didn't even bother to see episode 9. Sounds like I'm not missing anything. No,
you are so not missing anything.
You did not miss anything whatsoever.
Here, let me sum it up for you. So, let me sum it up for you. A lot of filler happens, and then suddenly Palpatine is alive, and Rey kills every, she goes to the planet of the Sith and destroys them all with her superpowers, and then she says that she's a Skywalker, even though she's apparently related to Palpatine. Fuck you. No. Fuck you, Disney. Fuck you.
And there's the ultimate Reylo moment. They kiss.
Oh yeah, they kiss because of course they have to. Not that they weren't even leading to that. That was so random and out of nowhere. Am I the only one who sees this? That it was kind of like oh, what do we do? I know. Let's make the Reylo fans happy. Okay, and then, dude, it's like the movie was literally like some dude grabbed all of his freaking Star Wars toys and just started, banging them up against each other. And now Rey's gonna kiss Kylo. It was like some child wrote that.
Like it's like the screenplay for this was just a 5-year-old child describing what he would do with his action figures during playtime.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, Shadex, that Rey Skywalker ending was not earned. None of it was earned. The whole movie was.
I'm going to tell you the moment that I would have walked out at and got a refund. It was like 30 minutes or so in. It's the moment where Rey does the Force lightning thing and nearly kills Chewie.
Oh God!
By blowing up the shuttle.
No, and then they do that fake out thing where where they're like, "Yep, Chewie is dead, audience. Chewie is dead," and that that they're immediately gonna turn around and be like, "No, he was in that other transport."
If I wasn't with my family in that theater, I would have walked out and got a refund.
I mean, that's literally you need to have a tomato on you and throw it at the fucking screen moment.
And but like I said, I just kept sitting down and watching. I just couldn't look away. I had to see more of this to see how bad it would get.
It was like the train wreck you couldn't avert your eyes from.
Yeah. And besides what we just described of it in a nutshell, it's laced with random fan service moments to get the original fans back. Of course.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. There's one thing I liked about it, and that was that there was less of that Asian chick,
Rose Tico.
There was way less of her, and I was like, "Thank you, movie. Thank you for not focusing on her." I hated that character.
And she ditched the potato sack that she was wearing before, and she also ditched the weird anime hair.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, fan service. Not even Billy D. Williams himself wanted to be anywhere near this movie. Like, after he shot his scenes, he was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like, he got the paycheck, and he was like, getting the hell out of here. And I was the only one in the theater that recognized when Wedge Antilles showed up. One of the Rogue Squadron pilots. Excuse me? Rogue Squadron pilots, Wedge Antilles.
Yeah. God. It was so bad. How'd you like the whole telegraphed, hey, we need this thingamajig to go to the freaking Sith planet.
You mean like the Sith Wayfinders in the KOTOR games, right? Gee, I wonder where you got that idea from.
But it's like how to
Jar
do
Jar
that,
Abrams.
Except they didn't do it like the games. It was like how to do that, only worse.
Oh, they did it much worse. And here's how they did it. J.J. Abrams ripped off an entire scene from The Goonies.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? It's the part where Rey is on that plains planet with the Death Star 2 wreckage, and she holds up the dagger to the freaking wreckage to see where she needs to enter in and find the secret room. It looks shot for shot exactly like that scene in The Goonies where they're holding up the map.
All the movie needed was the sound clip of "Hey, you guys!"
Hey, you guys!
That's all that it was missing, dude.
No, Captain Chunk. And there was that part where they ripped off Raiders of the Lost Ark with the giant snake creature. I forget.
Oh man!
There was some moment that looked exactly like a moment from Raiders of the Lost Ark. J.J. Abrams has no originality whatsoever. He's a hack who
he's just there to take successful movie franchises and fuck them up.
and it's hilarious because I remember when the original screenplay for it by Colin Trevorrow, who was originally supposed to direct it, came out and got leaked, and it's way fucking better than the movie that we got.
Well, honestly, I could have taken a dump and it would have been a better movie. I would have been like, look at that great movie I just made.
I'd rather watch the piece of shit Ewok movies from the mid-'80s.
I'd rather watch the freaking Christmas special.
I would too, because at least if I watched that, it would make me laugh.
Yeah, at least it had the right kind of cringe value. It was funny cringe as opposed to just plain cringe.
The Ewok movies are terrible. Don't watch them.
I would rather watch that god awful, the 80s cartoon with R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh, that one, the droids cartoon.
They're droids, yeah, that's what it was called. I'd rather watch that.
There was an Ewoks cartoon too.
You're right.
It's probably just as bad. I haven't seen it, but I know it exists.
I think my brain wants to forget it because somewhere in my childhood I know I've seen one and I don't want to remember it. Repressed memories and shit.
The Ewok movies. The only thing that's good about them is wasting the hell out of Paul Gleason and Wilford Brimley.
Well, there's one good thing about the Ewok movies is they contained no Jar Jar.
No Jar Jar. Jar Jar is not that bad of a character compared to some of the shit in the sequels.
That's true. Honestly, when the entirety of the of episode 9 makes you go, boy, I miss the days of Jar Jar. I mean, dude, if you put me in a jail cell and tell me I have to spend the night either with Rose Tika or fucking Jar Jar, I'd at least consider Jar Jar.
It's about saving the ones we love.
Hey, I guess it turns out I know more about Star Wars than I let on. Fuck. God, but I hated that.
We can keep talking about Star Wars if you want. This is fun.
But oh man, that movie was terrible.
The one out of the
General Ginger McGeneric bad guy. Yeah, no shit, dude. General
Ginger McGeneric, or as I like to call him, General Hux of the First Order. You got to say it like how he pronounces it. Of the First Order. General Hux of the which that's a really talented actor, and shame that he was wasted in those movies. I mean,
if you can give a good actor, you can have all the good actors you want, but does good if the script is shit, the characters are shit, and the cinematography is shit, and the director is shit. I mean, after a while, you just got to realize there was no saving that movie.
The only one of the newer movies that I actually like is Rogue One.
And that's because it had nothing to do with the continuity.
Yeah, and it was the only one out of the newer movies that resembles the original trilogy better than the sequels.
And even then, I was like, meh.
I cared more for a sarcastic robot than Rey.
Well, I mean, I think Rey was the character. I've cared for Jar Jar more than I cared about Rey. For fuck's sake. And with Jar Jar, at least you can go, man, is this the scene where he dies? Is this the scene where he dies? Is he finally gonna get it? But with Rey, it's like, tiring from beginning to end. And you knew why they made her, because they wanted to say girl power.
Girl power.
Like, they could have made a good character with girl power. Like, it's not like it's mutually exclusive. You just have to write a good character, for fuck's sake. And a good character isn't one that always wins and that always has the solution and that has exactly the powers you need at exactly the times you need them. Like, give me a goddamn break. She mastered the Force before the first movie. She was already, I mean, come on.
And Luke Skywalker in the originals, it took him 2.5 movies to be
get to where
well
he
trained
was.
in the Force. And
Yeah,
even by Return of the Jedi, he wasn't completely a Jedi.
That's what I'm saying. And she's like fiddle-farting fucking mastery in Force since the very first movie,
She mastered the Jedi mind trick in a day, in like 5 seconds.
And then, she levitated a whole fucking transport. Like, come on. Even Yoda, even Yoda when he was training freaking Luke, like, you could visibly see the effort he was putting in to lift it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
but no, she's just like, yeah, this is the easiest fucking shit ever. Weak sauce.
The new Patrick Mason says the new canon is dog shit. The new movies, comic books, and novels are high school fanfic tier, which is true.
I'm not even reading that shit, dude. I mean,
it's bad. It's really bad.
Bottom line, if I don't like the characters, there's no way in hell you're gonna get me to read freaking ancillary stories of characters I don't like.
The novelizations of the sequel trilogy, they were only written just to explain the bad plot decisions that they made in the movies. Like, one of them, it explains that Rey can download the Force, which that's not how it works.
Download Force.
Yeah.
Jesus. But come on, this whole, oh, by the way, my grandpa was Emperor Palpatine.
Just really? Out of nowhere, because the director killed off the series villain the last movie that he made.
But like,
so
seriously?
we gotta pull Palpatine out of our ass because we killed off the villain of the other 2 movies.
It's like, seriously? Like, and you know that was not the original intent. They just wrote themselves into a corner.
They had to make it high school fan fiction tier in order to save their asses from the travesty that was The Last Jedi, with completely destroying the direction that The Force Awakens set up.
Yeah, but come on, Palpatine?
Palpatine? I mean,
oh, by the way, I'm his long lost granddaughter. What?
What?
Fuck you, movie.
No.
Don't pull that weak shit.
You telling me an old crinkly emperor had time to get with some honeys, sweet honeys?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, at what point did I mean, how many hundreds of years old was he when he decided to finally boink and have Rey? Or was it like, I'm going to fuck the Force? Come on, Force. I'm gonna force fuck you.
Midi-chlorians.
Fucking Christ.
Oh, did you see Solo? The other spin-off movie, Solo, a Star Wars story, the Han Solo one?
Actually, I have not. And,
You're not missing anything.
I didn't think I was.
That's pretty much the case with all of these. You're not really missing much. Solo, it's pretty much a bad fan fiction on screen.
Well,
that reminds you of much better Star Wars media that you could be consuming. Like, I was reminded of 2 or 3 different Star Wars video games that I would rather play than watch that movie.
Oh, Solo's on Netflix?
I think it still is, yeah. Or they might have moved it to Disney Plus by now.
Well, let me see if it's on Netflix.
Because for the longest time, both it and Rogue One were on Netflix because Disney hadn't gotten the contract back from Netflix to put those movies on Disney Plus.
Got it. Well, it's no longer there, so I guess I won't be seeing that. Not that I want to lose an hour and a half, and I mean, why bother?
The guy they got to play Han Solo, he didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And this whole movie, we don't
nobody
need to
can play.
see.
I mean, you're never going to replace Harrison Ford.
No. If you want a Han Solo origin story, just read the Han Solo Expanded Universe trilogy, Paradise Snare, Hut Gambit, those books from the 90s. But Solo was unnecessary.
Oh man.
Oh, and that's something that I thought of. You ever notice with each of these movies, they star a brunette British actress? All of them? They all star brunette British actresses.
Well, that's kind of the popular thing to do these days, ever since Game of Thrones made British accents popular. Yet another show that I don't know if you followed it back when it was popular, but man, did they freaking slam the door shut on that series.
Oh, I liked Game of Thrones. I haven't gotten to...
The correct answer is I like Game of Thrones up until about season 4.
I've gotten up to season 6. I know I've known for a while that season 7, season 8 is where it goes.
Yeah, and it doesn't just go. It's like, you know, when Goofy falls out of a building. Yeah,
it's like that.
That scream he gives. Yeah, that's what they did with the plot to Game of Thrones.
Patrick Mason says, if you want a real sequel trilogy, read Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy. Yes, thank you. That is the true sequel trilogy, if there ever was one.
Nice.
Which I'm going through those books, and they're excellent.
Yeah, not hey, let's kill off Han Solo. Now let's make Luke look like shit.
Let's kill Luke Skywalker.
Kill Luke Skywalker. And then let's kind of make Princess Leia. Oh shit, the actress died. Okay, she died too.
Yeah. And Chewie, let's just kick Chewie to the curb, just cuz.
Let's make the fans tremble a little by pretending we're gonna kill him, and then be like, nope, he was he was in that other transport over there. You mean that other transport? Yeah, that other transport.
And then who do we have left that we can bring back? Let's bring back Lando and Wedge.
Yeah. And then let's have them have completely irrelevant scenes that don't really do anything for the characters or the plot. And
Lando is barely in the motherfucker.
Yeah, Lando's here just to say hi. I'm Lando.
Lando and Wedge are the only, and Palpatine are the only original trilogy characters that we can bring back.
I think Palpatine got more screen time than fucking Lando did.
And Wedge is on screen for 5 seconds. You can blink and miss him.
What a farce. But yeah, people want to continue to pretend that it's like cinematic masterpiece.
I will never understand how people can defend these movies. I don't.
Well, these are the same people that looked at Joker and said, "Oh, it's for incels.
It's for MGTOWs.
It's for MGTOW incels." And oh, look how it's against black people, even though like there's
none of that.
Nothing like that.
Oh, and I also heard that it's a pro-Trump movie. They gotta bring Trump into it.
Even though it literally is, he literally says, "Hey, rich people are assholes." You know? Yeah, because that's something Trump said, right? Hey, let's kill rich people and make fun of the fact that we kill rich people. This
movie is claimed to be pro-Trump, yet the entire movie is anti-rich people.
Yeah. Does make you wonder.
And the media wanted that.
Joker only killed rich people and then joked about it on national TV. And that must be something Trump would have done, right?
And the media really, really wanted shootings to happen at the theaters that this was being shown at. But there were more stabbings at Frozen 2 than there were any incidents at Joker 2. Joker. No joke. You can look up numerous stories about stabbings at screenings for Frozen 2.
The fact that more than one happened kind of scares me. Like, okay, what are they feeding these kids? Yeah, there's a scene in the Joker of a picketer holding up a sign saying Wayne is a fascist. Gee, I wonder where they got that from, right?
But the Star Wars sequel trilogy, not even the main cast can defend these movies. Daisy Ridley herself wants nothing to do with these movies anymore.
Well, I mean, the guy the main dude, the one who should have been raised.
Finn, John Boyega. He does not give a fuck about these movies anymore. He trashes the hell out of them.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that he's a main character and he's trashing the movies should tell you something, guys.
Like him and Oscar Isaac, they're going back and forth on Twitter and Instagram all the time, just bashing these movies, and it's hilarious.
And it's glorious. Yeah, John Boyega. Yeah, I just didn't know.
And also Daisy Ridley herself just wants nothing to do with these movies anymore and wants to just move on with her career.
Yeah, that's going to be a little hard to do when you're so, entrenched in the movie.
Daisy Ridley, I love her to pieces, but Rey is a terrible character. And I'm glad that she's wanting to distance herself.
Well, I mean, how could she not? It's so stupid.
Patrick Mason says,
I would have much rather her final kiss be with Finn than with fucking, Reylo.
See, she earned a kiss with Finn because they've been friends longer.
Right.
And they have feelings.
But that whole Reylo thing was just like, okay, why?
Like, I'd rather ship Rey and Finn than Kylo Ren.
I'd rather ship Rey and that grandma thing.
Patrick Mason says, "Can't wait to see Oscar Isaac in the new Dune movie." That's right. He's gonna be in the new Dune movie that's gonna come out.
I wonder if they can do Dune justice. That's gonna be.
I've been following it since it was announced, and they've picked a really good director.
Tall order. That's gonna be a tall order, and you know it.
They've picked a really good this director that's behind it. He has really good work, and he wants to do this justice. And he's not going to cram the source material into one movie like the David Lynch movie was. He's going to split this franchise into a trilogy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can make a 2-hour movie and have it work.
Oh, they're breaking it into 2 parts? Okay, well, more space for them to have.
Well, guys, my baby's crying, so I need to cut it here, guys.
So I think we should wrap it up here. I think we've had a good time, and I can't wait to do another one.
Sorry for the abrupt ending, but
it's
that was
okay.
a lot of fun, and thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. You guys have a good night.
Take care.